Hello everyone, welcome to our second webinar about cost per use in CELUS. Today it will be a little bit more advanced with Power BI magic, so I hope you are looking forward to it. I will invite Kamcha to start the presentation. Thank you, enjoy.
Thank you very much. I will start by sharing my screen. And I hope you see my presentation. So welcome everybody. Welcome to our second cost per use session with CELUS. Today we will be in Power BI using CELUS Data Hub, and it will be a little bit complex, so I hope you are fresh and having a large mug of coffee, which I have and will use in the meantime. Just a bit of a repetition. Once you have your data in CELUS, you can export it into a powerful analytical database. If you have switched on the feature CELUS Data Hub, it not only exports all your usage reports, counter and non-counter, but also the tags which we will be using today and which are very useful. The data from CELUS Data Hub are then very good for use in BI tools like Power BI, which we will be using today, or Tableau or Metabase, and you can also query the data directly, and the ClickHouse web interface allows you to export the queries, so there is much choice how to use the CELUS Data Hub, and it makes the data gathered in CELUS available, which is amazing opportunity to use the data. Since we have launched the Data Hub, we have a growing Data Hub community, growing number of users who are cooperating with us, experimenting with the data, and I'm really happy about it. We help each other, we share information, and this is really nice to have. I am happy about the community, and I hope we will further expand the exchange of information and knowledge using our new communication forum, usage stats community. There are already some interesting questions and answers there, and I hope the community will grow and prosper also with help of this tool. Back to our cost per use. Our today's objective is to calculate cost per use for a collection of titles, for individual titles, and at platform level, I will be using the same data as last time. That means the artificial CELUS Nature platform. There is no real data of our customers. This is randomly generated data, and also the prices are artificial. It's nothing real about our customers. We will be again having fine fiscal years for each July to June 2024 and June 2025. And since we are having Power BI today, it's easy to retain flexibility. We will have a choice between unique item requests and total item requests. We will be able to choose access types and access method. Into Power BI, we will enhance the price list which we were using last time, and we will do it in CELUS and Excel. I will jump into CELUS to shortly show this is the demo library, Hogwarts library. This is the platform CELUS Nature, and this is the data which we will be working today with. It's counter 5 for the period until December 2024 and data in counter 5.1 since January 2025. This is quite a typical pattern, therefore I'm using it today. We will be also using our already created tags. The tags were created for the two collections, collection A and collection B, and for the single titles. If you would like to repeat or catch up how to create tags, review later the recording of the webinar 1. I have shown how to create tags and tag list and everything. We will be also using a report created last time for the titles. I will quickly go to the report and its definition. It's based on title report in release counter 5.1 as a major report. As a backup, there is counter 5 title master report, and these reports are merged. That means that the counter 5.1 report is used preferably and counter 5 only as a backup. We have titles in rows, the two fiscal years in columns, and filters for the library organization platform, the titles and metric access type and method. I will run the report, and we have the individual titles which we will be using to gather title IDs. I will switch to the price list to show what we want to accomplish. We want to accomplish these numbers, which is an internal number from CELUS. I will delete it for now to show how it's done. Here we have the same titles which we have already tagged and for which we have the price list. And to connect the titles with the prices in Power BI, to connect the usage with the prices, we will use a lot unique identifiers, and a very good identifier is CELUS ID, because the ID is unique for each title, for each tag, for each platform, for each metric. It's a very useful connector between tables, which we will be using today. And it is possible if you have a report for a platform, for titles, or for databases, you can export Excel with CELUS IDs. And from this report, you can use the IDs to enhance your title database or platform lists to have a reliable and safe connector to in Power BI to other tables. Now I will connect the report result, the CELUS IDs, into the cost table to enhance the cost table. I will use the XLOOKUP function, and I will use ISSN to look up the value of the ID. I will look it up in the report. And the return array will be the ID. This is now in my way. And if nothing found, 0, 0 for exact match. And here we have the ID for journals. And for books, we will use ISBN, which is already normalized without hyphens and with the prefix of 978. I will again use the XLOOKUP function, only I will be searching for ISBN in the column in the report with the return area here, the title ID. And if nothing found, 0 exact match is also 0, and that's it. Quick check, politics in China 894. Politics in China 894,553. Yes, that's it. So like this, I would enhance my tables by the CELUS ID. Of course, there are also other IDs for titles, but as you can see, they vary and they would complicate the connection of usage and other tables in Power BI, whereas the CELUS ID is a universal connector which is usable in Power BI in all tables. In the same way, I would gather also platform ID for the platform, and for collections, I would switch to CELUS and display the collection, and I would find the ID there. I will shortly show how it's done. Here in tag management, I would go to collection A, and here I would find the number of the tag, which is also valid for the titles. The IDs are part of the URL of the individual title tech or platform or any other item in CELUS, which is quite useful. So we have the price list ready. Prices for collections for fiscal year 24-25. The price for the collection for 24-25, and also the prices and IDs for the individual titles. We have to save and close the file to use it in Power BI, because Power BI hates open files and it would soon remind us that it's not what it wants. So we have our data prepared and start to work in Power BI. We open a blank report. And start to get data. For usage from CELUS, we will use the ClickHouse native connection. And the connection information to CELUS Data Hub, we will found in CELUS. In the menu Data Hub, there is the connection information. It's just clickable. We will also have the port here. And the database. I will leave it like this and click OK. I have already connected to this database, so I don't need now the username and password. But if I connect it for the first time, I would copy the username and click on the password and use the password in the credential, which would be asked by Power BI. Now I can already select the tables which I'm going to use. We saw that we have data in counter 5 as well as counter 5.1, and we want to gather the information at title level. Therefore, I will use TR merged. That means title report merged from counter 5.1 and counter 5. And I will also need title tags. This dialog is getting in my way. And to work with the data effectively, it's always good to reduce and transform the data not loaded directly into Power BI. In the demo library, I have still not so much data, but anyway, it would be large and it would become much larger for real library. So it's always good choice to transform the data and reduce it to the minimum which we need to use to work efficiently in Power BI. I have now the usage table in Power BI with all the columns and all the usage gathered. And I have also the tag information, the tag table. What I need to add is a new query for the price lists. And from it, I will use the 3 tables with the costs. This is all the information imported into Power BI. Now we have to reduce the data and prepare it for the cost per use calculation, which is time consuming and frankly boring. So I have prepared it in advance and I will switch to the already prepared model and explain the steps there. So the first step is about saying the volume of the data to the volume which we need to use. We don't need all metrics, so we filter to total item requests and unique item requests, and we also don't need all the platforms, so we choose only the platform which we want to use. Later, we also don't need all the columns that are exported from CELUS. We only need the platform ID, platform name, title ID, and title name, because these are our main identifiers. And we also need metric short name and access type, access method, data type to be able to filter and display these dimensions. And also we will need the value and the date to work with it. Value is the usage. What we later do is grouping the data, which reduces the number of rows to only what we need. And we also rename the value to usage and make a sum of it. Another step is already enhancing this table. This table ends by the date and usage. We saw it previously. And what we would like to do for these titles to add their tags which are applicable for this solution, which is the tag created for collection A, collection B, and for the individual titles. For this, we will use the merge function. We will use the title ID as the connector, and the title report merged will be enriched by the tag table, where is the collection A, collection B tag, and also tag ID. And we will use the kind of left outer to enrich the first table only and not add anything else. Then we gather all the columns from the second table and we want to use just some of it, so we expand them just by tag ID and tag name, which will be used later. So this is this table so far, and we need to solve another challenge, which is the fiscal year. In these tables, we have the fiscal years, and we don't have it in this table. In this table, we have the date in this format, day and year, and we need to create a fiscal year from it. How can we do it? We can do it in two ways. Either create a dimension table, which will kind of translate the individual dates into fiscal years and use it, or we can create another column. I use the second solution because the dimension table sometimes creates many-to-many relations, which is better to avoid. So this is for me a better solution. How to do it? We take this column and add another column which calculates a year which will be then used in the fiscal year. And the logic is if the month is July or later, that means 7 or greater than 7, then the year is +1. And if not, then the year is the same. And like this, we create another column at the end with the year transformed according to the formula. We then extract the last two characters and we add another column combining just this column with FI to have the same wording for fiscal year as in the price tables. Now just we remove the transitionary column, reorder the dates together, and we also filter the fiscal year just to fiscal year 2024 and 2025, which we'll be using. So this is for this table. We will also adjust the other tables. The tag table is only filtered for the only tag which we will be using, which is CELUS nature. And then the price tables originally are with prices in these two columns, which is not good, or it would be difficult to work with in Power BI. We have to unpivot these columns, and what we get is one column with the fiscal year and second column with the costs, which will rename to have a clear overview of it. The same operation has been done for the cost for the platform and also for the titles to have fiscal year in one column and the costs in the second column. So this is quite a lot of work, which is just part of the solution in Power BI. And we have good resource tables by now, but they don't speak together. They are not connected. And when we started to create visuals, we would have various data in various sources, but disconnected, which wouldn't be what we want. You can connect them directly, but this solution is not so good and can become pretty messy between the tables. What I prefer to do are creating dimension tables. In this model, it is best to use 3 of them. One is for fiscal year, which is a very simple list of these 2 fiscal years, which we'll be using. A dimension table for the tags with tag ID and tag name, and the last dimension table for the individual titles with title ID in one column and title name in the second column. It is really easy to create these dimension tables from already existing tables just by reducing the tables and renaming and deduplicating. This one has been created from the cost table, and it can be created also from other existing tables. It's really simple, and I will share this file. You can go individual by each step, and we will proceed further because the time runs really fast. So once we have the data ready, we transform them into the Power BI itself. But even if we have the dimension tables, the data tables still are not connected and wouldn't speak with each other. What we need to do, we need to create connections between the dimension tables, which I gathered here at the top. It's the dimension for fiscal year, for tags, and for the titles. And the data tables are here, including the TR data table. And this is the orphan title tags, which we used in the merging and will not use anymore. Therefore, I made it invisible, not to bother me in the modeling phase. The fiscal year is necessary to work with each of the tables, so it must be connected to each table. It's just connecting one fiscal year to the other fiscal year, one by one. It always creates one-to-many relationships, not here, but here, and it's okay. It's fine, it's working reliably. This table needs to be connected not to the platform, which is simple, but to the collection costs, to the single titles costs, and to the usage. And the last one for the individual titles has to be connected to the titles costs and to the usage. Title ID is used in this case, and in this case, tag name or preferably tag ID is used. Here in this cost table, I don't have tag ID, so I'm using tag name, which is also fine. Good. So this is the data model. It takes some work. We have consumed a lot of time, but it's like this. From now on, we will use the visuals and it will be much more flexible. We will start by table because we want to be sure that the data is the right one, and that is working. We will start by choosing the fiscal year from the dimension table and usage. And this is all the usage gathered together. We have to slice it by access method, by access type, and by metric. So, and we are starting to see similar numbers to previous webinar, which is the right number, which is good. And this is a start, which is good for each level. And therefore we will duplicate this start to save us some work later. Good. And with the usage, we would like to see the costs. From the platform table, we will choose the costs, and this is also the right number. So our model is working, and we can even choose variable usage, and it still works. Okay, where is the CPU, the cost per use? We have to calculate it. It's not in the original tables, and it's a good solution to use a Power BI measure. We will create a new measure called CPU platform. And for calculating it, we will use Power BI divide function. This is a smart function which can also work with a division by 0, and therefore we are using it. We want to divide sum of costs, but the costs for the platform, and we want to divide it by usage. Sum of usage. And Power BI is working for me, but I want to include and not available if there is division by 0. Okay, and now I can also display the cost per use per platform, and this is it. This is the number I wanted to see. So I know my model is working, and I can still click between the metric, and I can add free to read usage, and it's working fine. We have unfortunately not much time, so I will go to build a visual for or a table, a calculation for titles, because everyone usually is interested in titles, and I will then send you the whole model with the visuals for platform. So we will again start by table, but this time we will use other tables. We will use a slicer for financial year, because for titles it would be too messy, the table, if we use the fiscal year there. And here we will want to see the titles. And we will want to see the usage. And this is fine. It's sliced, so it's the number we want to see. Only here there is a large number which doesn't belong to any title. This is the usage for the collections which we now want to avoid. Not on all pages, but just on this page. Therefore, we will filter it out and choose thus only the single titles. Fine. We can, okay. To run fast, we will go to the costs, which we have in single title cost table, and add the costs. I'm seeing the expected numbers only. I would like the sorting to be adjusted according to the usage. So this looks familiar and it looks fine. So, and now the cost per use. We have to calculate it again. And this time we will use the name CPU titles and use again the divide function from sum of costs for the titles by sum of usage and NA for 0, and that's it. And like this, we have the cost per use calculated. We can adjust the format of the data. For example, the cost per use, it's currency, and we want 2 decimal numbers, and this is nice. We can easily add a visual displaying the cost per use per titles like this. And again, this is all flexible between the years, flexible between the metric. Even we can calculate it including TDM or including open access. And if we want to share the model with our colleagues, we publish the model and like this, it uploads into Microsoft Fabric. And this model we can already share with our colleagues within our Microsoft tenant, and the colleagues will be also able to adjust the numbers according to what they need, what they prefer to display. I will later share the whole model with you and the credentials that you can explore it all steps. Unfortunately, the time is running out, and I thank you very much for following this complex session. A recording will be available shortly as usual, and I will share with you as much as possible the presentation, of course, but also the ready model and credentials to be able to connect to the artificially generated data and to explore every step of the model. I'm thrilled by the cooperation with you. So if you have questions, suggestions, anything you want to share with us, cooperate with us, contact us at ask at celusnet.net or discuss questions at the Usage Stats community forum. We will be delighted to share and communicate with you. Thank you so much.